I have Okay, I've got 5 children, and all my kids play sports. So I am that busy mom. I am the mother that's literally going city to city, state to state, and sometimes I'm actually going country to country. Because for those of you who do know my story, you know, out of the 5 children, 3 of my children are professional athletes. I got 2 in the WNBA and 1 that plays baseball. And the other 2 are in college, and 1 actually has a game going on right now. She plays for Mississippi State. So, needless to say, again, I'm so busy. However, if you're on the line right now and you're booking travel, like I was booking travel prior to getting into this industry, and you're booking travel, I want you to know that when we're done with this Zoom, you're going to be booking travel totally different. All right. So, again, I got started in this business 9 years ago. I was with this company from the very, very beginning, and locked arms with the leadership here. Absolutely love travel. I really feel like this is my jam, right? If there's anybody on the line right now, you feel like this is your jam, like you're not going nowhere, just give me a fire emoji, because this is my jam. I'm going to be in this travel space for a very, very long time. You know why? Because I know too much about it. Not only do I know too much about it, but I'm having too much fun sharing with other people this particular business model. So I want to make sure I have my special guest on the line. Let me just kind of go through and see if he's here. I do see that he's here. Again, I am not going to unpack this information myself. I am going to bring to the line a young man who is doing some incredible things. Like, he's been doing some incredible things for a while now. But again, I wanted to bring someone from Team Testosterone, as I mentioned before, that's going to help me unpack this information on tonight. So this young man is a father, right? He is a grandfather. He's been in the industry for over 2 decades. He is an entrepreneur, so he owns his own business. And I would like to present to some and introduce to others this one-star director out of Detroit, Michigan, Nakia Muhammad. I see that you have joined us on tonight. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Director DeShields, for having me. Can you hear me and see me okay?
Yes, I can hear and see you just fine. Thank you,
Yes.
thank you, thank you once again for
Thank
joining
you.
me on tonight. So we've got the people assembled. You know, we've got some guests on the line, and we've got some business partners. So tonight we're just gonna talk a little bit about our product, but more importantly, I want the listeners to know a little bit more about Director Nakia Muhammad. So if you could, I mean, I said a couple of things to edify you, but if you could just share with the listeners a little bit more about who is Nakia Muhammad.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I'm this guy. I'm a city slicker, if you will. I was born and raised in Detroit, right? And was raised in urban America. And I come from a big family. I have 5 sisters and a brother. So we were raised, and I'm what they call an '80s baby. And so the best years, right, where we have all of the stuff, and I can go through it, the music and the food and the memories. And so I come from that environment. Did what my mom told me to do. I was one of 7 to go to college and get a degree so that I can get a good job and make something of myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was the path to be traveled, and so I did that. And then I got married. Um, I have 3 adult children, 23, 25, and 27. I have a 3-year-old grandson. And so I went to school. I got a degree. My degree is in political science and psychology, believe it or not. And I thought that was the way to go. And because my degree was in politics, when I got out of college, I got a job as a consultant at the mayor, as a consultant in the mayor's office in Detroit. And so again, I thought I was doing all of the right things. And so, but I kind of found a trek and got myself into the business arena, and I became a traditional business owner. And that has worked out for me because, again, I work hard, but I wanted to figure out how some of that hard work can be directly beneficial for me as an entrepreneur. And then I found myself in the travel industry, traveling the country in different parts of the world, having an absolute blast while I was doing it. And here we are back in the travel industry.
Right, right. Well, let me just say, I'm happy to be here, as y'all heard me say earlier, because I was a product of the product, and I was booking travel on those highly publicized sites, having no idea that I was doing it the wrong way, because there is a right way, and the right way is, when you become a merchant. When you become a merchant and you own your very own travel business, you start to move a little differently. And so I want to just touch just a little bit about our product, because again, we've got some guests on the line, and they should be fully aware of what it is we're talking about. We just want you to know that you can have your very own travel business. If you didn't know it, I'm here to tell you, you can have your very own travel business where you can book travel from yourself. And when you book travel from yourself, you get to take advantage of earning the commissions that's already there. Somebody put that in the chat. The commissions are already there. So I didn't know that when I was crisscrossing the globe with all those childrens, right? Well, yeah, I said childrens. When I was crisscrossing the globe with all those childrens, I had no idea I was literally leaving money on the table. I had no idea that when I put together the family trip, when I put together the girls' vacations, when I was the go-to person for referrals, that I was the bootleg travel agent. That's what I was. I was a bootleg travel agent. I was doing all the work, putting together the itineraries, and leaving money on the table. Well, again, in 2025, we're not going to do that. We're going to change the narrative here, and we are no longer going to be bootleg travel agents. We're going to talk about how you can, take something that you love and make it your business. So now, Nakia, you said earlier that you was once in the travel space and now you're back.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So, what is it about this industry that you love so much? Because we're going to talk about our business, but we're also going to talk a little bit about the industry, just to help some people out who feel like they've been a part of the industry and had some other kind of product maybe, and they didn't make any money or they weren't successful. So let's talk about why you came back here. Why did you come back to travel?
Right. And if we can, I think we have someone that is off mute here, Director DeShields, and on a
Yes, I'm trying to
Samsung here,
figure
we're
out
getting
who that
feedback
is.
from them. So we want the people to get unadulterated information directly to them. There we go. And
Okay.
so the question of why is because the travel industry is an anyway business, right? People are doing it anyway, right? We don't have to change buying habits. We don't have to buy a new product. We don't have to ingest anything and hope that it works, right? We don't have to try this product or this lotion or this potion or this pill and attach a compensation plan to it, right? It's the anyway business, meaning we're going to do it anyway. Everybody
Mhm.
on this line is going to participate willingly or unwillingly. You're going to travel somewhere, but we figured out how to get compensated for what we do, right? So we're not just going to get confirmation, we're going to get compensation, right? So I saw the opportunity to do so with a great company, a great operation, a great group of people, and a great group of leadership. And it just made sense, right? And so
Mhm.
to the point that you made, Director DeShields, um, a lot of people don't know that they're leaving money on the table and they're doing the work, right? So they're unpaid travel agents. They're going to Expedia, Travelocity, Priceline, cheap tickets, and Delta, and they're booking directly, and the commission is staying with those particular vendors or staying with those websites, the faceless, nameless website. We figured out how to tweak our habits and be compensated for the thing that we were going to do anyway. So for me, it just made all the sense in the world to continue what I was doing, but to be compensated for doing it.
Right. And as I said earlier, there's a lot of people who have been in the industry of network marketing. Yes, I'm gonna touch on the pink elephant in the room. That's what we're gonna be talking about a
Right.
little bit today. Network marketing, referral marketing, multi-level marketing is all the same, pink elephant. But again, many people have been in the industries, but they maybe failed in the past and maybe not have had success. So what do you think makes this business just different? You alluded to it, but I wanted to talk on the products for those people who have been in those product driven industries. Again, what makes this a little bit different than those product driven industries?
Well, I think I'll just say to the people who have not had quote unquote success in the previous things that they tried in the direct sales space, I just submit to you that you were practicing. you were you were just building a muscle so that when you got to the real thing, it would be muscle memory, right? And so those things that, I mean, you got to think about it with all due respect to the insurance industry, right? I'll just say this, right? It's a product that people need. We can't argue that, right? But who wants to sell that, right? Who wants to think about when they're no longer here? It's a needed product, but my God, you know, if you're selling caskets successfully, you could easily sell cruises, right? And so my disposition is you were just practicing. So you thought that you weren't being successful, you were just being prepared. Many of you on the line right now are this is who's married, this isn't your first relationship, right? And so you took the what to do and what not to do from those previous relationships, and now this one is working out for you. I'm saying do the same exact thing. They're
All right.
transferable skills, right?
Oh, absolutely. I like that. You were just practicing so that you could be prepared. I
There
got
you
it.
go.
I had to take a note. I wrote that down. That's a good one. That's a hot biscuit. Y'all need to take notes while we talking here. That was a hot biscuit for you all tonight. So yeah, so travel, yes, it's an easier conversation, right? Travel's fun, travel's lucrative, travel's sexy. Let's not forget that part.
Right?
People love to do it. So it's just an easier conversation. And at the
Absolutely.
end of the day, we're literally helping people go on that bucket list vacation. We're helping people, take their family on that desired, vacation and get a commission check when they return.
Absolutely.
So, again, if you're on the line right now and you are looking to supplement your income, put thumbs up. Just put thumbs up in the chat. Let us know that you're looking to supplement your income, because on tonight we're going to talk about what that looks like. So let's talk about when you book travel, though, as an agent. You have your very own travel business. Like, what does that commission look like, Nakia? Like, are we getting 50% of the commission? Are we getting all of the commission? Let's talk to the guest on the line about how much we actually bring home from the work that we do.
Right. And so there's a phrase called vendor paid commission, right? So there's vendors out there. You guys are used to booking through Delta Airlines, American Airlines. You're used to booking through Hilton Hotel or Marriott Hotel. You're used to going on, Virgin or Royal Caribbean or Carnival Cruises. These things we're used to, Secrets Resorts, Dreams Resorts. These are places that we are already used to, right? It's the same Jamaica. It's the same Mexico, right? It's the same Caribbean. These things are all the same. And so the places that you would normally go, those commissions, when you first get started, there's some training involved and things along those lines, but you're going to earn 70 to 80% of the vendor paid commission. So let me give you guys an example. My daughter recently got married, right? And so I booked her honeymoon through my travel agency, right? And there was a week-long stay at the Dreams Resort in Cabo San Lucas, right? I booked the airfare and I booked the car rent. I mean, I booked the airfare and the resort, Dreams Resort, directly through Delta Vacations as the travel agent that I am, right? Because I have my own travel agency from the comfort of my home. I booked that, and that week long honeymoon yielded me a $700 commission, right? So think about it. Remember, we said it's the anyway business. So my daughter was going on that honeymoon anyway. And so
Mhm.
those are the type of commissions that we're able to earn from things that we book or trips or vacations that we book through our own home-based travel agency.
Oh yeah, that's the power. Like when I was brought this opportunity from a random stranger on social media, when he showed me, how I could save on what I was doing anyway. Again, when I opened up this call, I told you all I have 5 children. And so when I realized, I mean, it's one thing when you make money, but it's another thing when you can save money. Okay. So even if people can, like afford those 5-star luxury vacations, I want you to know we're going to show you how you can even make commissions on travel, but even start to move slightly differently. Because now that I'm in the travel space, I'm kind of mad I didn't find out about it later. I mean, earlier. I'm kind of mad I didn't find out about it earlier. But like you said earlier, I've been practicing. I was practicing with all that other stuff. God
Right.
prepared me for this
Absolutely.
moment in time. So I'm
Right.
trying not to be too bitter, but
Right.
just know that I could have saved a fortune on a lot of those trips and a lot of those packages had I been an agent back then. But I'm so glad I'm here. And that's why we have the guest on the line, because we don't want you guys to keep spending your hard earned money without getting a commission check. At least get some kind of kickback. So on tonight, we're gonna put y'all on. How's that sound? We're gonna put y'all on. So now that we have access to this incredible business, Nakia, and we can book travel, and just for the listeners, we're earning 70 to 80% of the commissions that's already there. What does the training look like? Because you did touch on some training. You said something about some training. So what does the training look like for us as travel agents once we have our own business?
Right. So when we open up our own travel agency, again, and the person who invited you to the call can tell you exactly how to go about doing that. It's a very short process, less than 10 minutes to get you all set up. But once you get involved, you can actually engage as much or as little as you choose to. Right. 98% of the people that are involved with us are involved on a part-time basis. Right. We have doctors and attorneys and all types of people in different walks of life that are involved in the business, but again on a part-time basis. So this doesn't require you to do it's not either or, right? It's not either you do this or you do what you're doing. It's yes and. It's yes, you can do this business and you can keep your full-time job if that's what you so choose to do. But again, when you get involved, there's travel training at your fingertips. All There's a ton of training online. We actually call it it's our university, our IntelliTravel University. So you can actually go to school online and learn as much as you choose to, again, at your own pace. And then also there's physical training that you can actually go to as well throughout different parts of the country. And guess what? You can actually travel abroad and get some of that training as well. And so our classroom actually is the places that we actually travel to. So you get a chance to experience the product while you're being trained on the product as well. That's all at your fingertips.
Oh yeah. And you know what? The training, I love the training. Nakia, I don't know if you follow me on social media or not, but
I do.
I love to do market research. That's what we call it. We call it market research. We owe it to our clients.
Absolutely.
Guys, as a travel professional, if you didn't know this already, you owe it to your client to go have that hot rock massage by the beach. You owe it to your client to attend as many all inclusives so that you can really come back and tell them that it is all you can eat and all you can drink. So you are literally going out there learning about the product, whether it's a cruise ship, whether it's a 5-star resort, or whether it's a ski slope or a golf course. Again, we must do it. And you know what? It's a tough job, but somebody got to do it.
Nobody
And
got
it
it.
might as well be me, right?
Right.
So y'all
Right.
might as well put that, it might as well be me. Put it in the chat. You're already doing it as a consumer. Do it as an agent and get that commission check. So, like I said on tonight, we're going to put y'all on and we're going to show you how you can turn all the travel that you've already been doing it into a nice little bag, right? Something you can take to the bank.
Correct.
So now we talked about training. Now, is this training, does it come at a cost? Do we have to pay anything extra for this training, Nakia?
Well, see, the thing is, when you make your initial investment, and every business has an investment, just so you guys know, it's a small capital outlay. Not, it's trust me, it's very low. But you have access to that training to go as high as you choose to at no additional cost. It's right there at your fingertips. And so again, a lot of times there's a lot of gotchas, right? Gotcha, you got in, and then it's the what they call the overlay for the underplay. It's like, no, we're all up front right here. It's more training than you can shake a stick at. In fact, it'll take you I always tell people to pace themselves, Director DeShields, because when they first get involved, trying to do it all in one setting is like trying to take a sip of water out of a fire hydrant. right, is way too much. So you got to pace yourself. And there's levels to this, right? And then you're going to there's different levels as you get involved that allows you to go higher and higher with respect to that training. And then you'll be able to kind of keep your fingers on the pulse of your own development. And that'll tell you how much or how little you should get involved, or how much you should continue to do, I should say.
Oh yeah. I mean, I get excited, to be honest, every time I talk about the travel, because for me, Nakia, I feel like a kid in a candy store. That's what
Right.
I call it. I'm like, I just have all these options. Like, do I want a Snicker? Do I want a gumball? Do I want the now later? What about the Babe Ruth, right? I'm gonna go old school with y'all.
Right, right.
What do I want to do? So it can very well be overwhelming. So just learn as you earn.
There we
Don't
go.
try to consume it all. You'll be overwhelmed. Okay. And in travel, what I love is it's a $9 trillion industry, ladies and gentlemen. It's the largest industry in the world. All those other industries need travel. That's why the candy store is so robust. That's why
Mhm.
that fire hydrant is so powerful, right? That you were
Right.
just talking about.
Absolutely.
There's just so many options. And so we've got some listeners on the line who may be wanting to specialize in a particular genre of travel because there's many. Nakia mentioned preparing the honeymoon for his daughter, right? We've got people who do destination weddings over here. We've got
Hmm.
people who do group cruises, people who put together spring break trips, people that are doing all kinds of destination, I mean, like weddings, girls' trips, bay trips. Did y'all know that they are doing divorce moons? Now, I heard of honeymoons, but they're actually doing divorce moons. Usually it's the
Wow.
women that are doing that. They're celebrating those divorces, right? So there's all kinds of ways for you to tap into this industry, find your lane, whatever that is, and secure a bag. Right? Somebody said she had one. See, y'all thought I was a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs on here. No, I am not. Like I said, we're gonna be
Woo!
very transparent on tonight. Yes, people are actually having divorce spoons out here, and you can get a commission check for helping them do that. So now we talked about, the product travel. We talked about the commissions. Let's talk about our guarantees, because we do have some guarantees with this business. You kind of alluded to it earlier, Nikhil, when you said the gotchas. We don't have no gotchas, absolutely none. We pride ourselves on being very, very transparent. But what are some of these guarantees that we have, Nikia?
Right. So one of the guarantees is we're saying, look, sometimes it's difficult to understand the product from the outside, right? You go to a dealership, the vehicle may look great on the lot, right? But you got to get in, you got to adjust the seat to your settings, right? Depending on if you're tall or short, right? You got to get closer to the steering wheel, and then you got to strap on that seatbelt, and you got to take it for a spin so you can see how it feels and see if it's right for you. And so we have a 30-day a money back guarantee where you can come in and you can get involved and you can do all of the navigation to the travel agency itself, the back office, and see how things work in our company's website and all of those things, right? You get a chance to see, is this something I really want to do, right? And then if it's not what you want to do, 30 days later, no questions asked, we'll send you your money back. But there's people that's on the line right now that understand that travel is a futurist business and everybody's not booking their travel in the next 30 days. So how am I going to really get an understanding of what I have my hands on in 30 days? So some people know it takes a little longer than that. And the company is aware of that as well. So we have a 12-month guarantee, right? Where we're saying, if you get involved and you do these things that we are instructing you or helping you to do and telling you to do in that 12-month calendar period, if you don't you don't save or make what it costs you to own that travel agency, right? We'll pay you the difference of what it costs you, and you get a chance to keep that travel agency and take another crack at it again. And so we're saying we're guaranteeing our product, right? Last year alone, our company was able to book $1 billion worth of travel. So we're not trying to see if it works. We're not, throwing some up against the wall and hoping that it does. We're not crossing our fingers and hoping those of you who are on the line this evening get involved with us, right? So that we could know we sold $1 billion. We booked $1 billion worth of travel in 2024. So we're very clear on the fact that our product works, which is why we can give those type of guarantees and stand by them,
Oh
right?
yeah, absolutely. And not only do we have like those guarantees, I like for people to know about who we're in partnership with. You
Absolutely.
know what I mean? Like, this is not hookemup.com. That's not what this is. This is not Soul Plane. This is Delta Vacations. This is Royal Caribbean. This is Sandals Beach Resorts. This is Charisma, Ryu. Please understand that our partners they are major brands and they spend millions of dollars with their attorneys to make sure that they are not doing business with any company that's unethical or doing anything illegal. Understand that when you get started in this business, you're going to get a 1099. You're going to get a document indicating you're an independent agent with our particular host company. So we are doing business with integrity because we have these incredible partners. And here's what I want the guests to listen to know, as well as the business partners. Did y'all know we had 1 million suppliers? Did you know that? I don't even know if Nakia knew that. We have 1 million suppliers. Again, who are the suppliers? The Delta Vacations, the Disney, the ski resorts, the NFL arenas. You want Broadway? We got Broadway plays too. You can earn commissions there. You might be that person that wants to book the Super Bowl package. Guess what? You can book a Super Bowl package. We're talking flights, hotel, and the Super Bowl ticket and get a commission for it. Does that not sound good? It sounds real good to me because I have a sports family and they got sports friends. So I want to be in position to secure their vacations. So now, Nakia, we've talked about our product and we said some things about our product. Why do you feel like this conversation is needed in 2025?
Yeah,
Why are we sharing this business with other people?
because we understand that good is not good if it's only good for you, right? So if we're benefiting from it, why wouldn't we share the opportunity with others, right? And when we're traveling, we're not traveling alone, right? And so when we having that conversation with other people, I think we do folks a disservice that if we're getting all the commission for ourselves, right? We got to at least give them the opportunity to be able to earn that. And in this current climate, this current economic climate, people are hurting, quite frankly, Director DeShields, people are in need, right? We understand that if the average American who went into foreclosure last year, they had an extra $500 coming into their household on a monthly basis, an extra $6,000 a year that could have prevented the foreclosure. So we have an avenue and a tool that can help people stay in their homes. And so to not talk to people about a solution to some of the economic woes that people are experiencing, I think is borderline criminal, right? We have to talk to people about it. And so this conversation is very important because we have a solution to a lot of the challenges that people have financially.
Right. And you're absolutely correct because I think if we're on the line right now and we're over the age of 40, newsflash, we're at the halfway mark of life. We are. And so we got to start thinking differently.
Absolutely.
It's we just got to start moving differently. No one taught me how to become wealthy. My mom, like most moms, taught us to go to school, get a good education, keep our nose clean so we can have that safe, secure job. So on tonight, we just want you to know, you know, this is not quit your job night. Let's start there. I don't want anybody to feel like we want you to quit your job
Not at
because
all.
as Nakia said earlier, most people have jobs and those jobs pay for their bills. But there's got to be a way for us to put something in place because there's this thing for those of us who have automobiles, there's this thing that sits in our car. It's called a spare tire. right? That spare tire is there for what? In case of an emergency. Okay. So if we understand that concept that we should have a spare tire in our car just in case of an emergency, then perhaps we need to understand that we should have some extra income coming into our house just in case of an emergency.
Just in case.
Because there should be a day when we all are in a place where we can buy all four brand new tires, right? You know what I mean? We gotta graduate from buying the two tires and
Right.
rotating in them until we can get the resources to get the other two brand new tires, right?
Absolutely.
I want us all on the line to be in a position that when life happens, we have this spare income that can take care of the thing. Okay? You know, let's be proactive moving forward, especially in 25. Let's position ourselves to be proactive in having that extra income on the side. Because if I see one more GoFundMe for Granny, right? Y'all know Granny raised 13 children, and 13 children can't bury Granny. Come on, we got to do better. So on tonight, hopefully we know better so we can do better. Now, I just want to touch a little bit. Also, Nikhil, you talked about um, the travel commission that you earned from your daughter's vacation. Have you booked any more trips, honeymoon trips?
I have not booked any more
I was
honeymoon
just
trips.
curious because Team Testosterone typically don't book travel, y'all. So I was impressed. I was thoroughly impressed when he said he actually booked travel. But that just lets you know how simple it is, right? So if someone from that team can book travel inside of the travel space, our business model works. It's successful because
Well,
typically it's the
I tell you, Director Deshills, I book when necessary, right? So my wife and I went on our 25-year anniversary, and I booked that trip. We did a tour of 7 countries in Europe for 2 weeks. Both myself and my wife and a business partner and his fiance with us. And
Mhm.
so we booked, but it's simple enough to book. The Team Testosterone can do it.
Y'all are getting it done for sure, for sure. So now let me ask you this: when you got started in this business, because I know we've got some people who are, maybe have never been a business owner before or never been in network marketing before. So when you got started in this business over here in travel, when did you have your aha moment? Like, when did you have that moment where you're like, oh my God, like, not only am I going to be able to book travel and make money, but I can make some serious money over here?
Well, I'll tell you. I mean, you mentioned all four tires. Like after 40, if you can't get all four tires, right, you got to change whatever you're doing and how you're doing it. And here's why. Um, in about 30 days, Director Deshills, I turned 50. I'll be the big 50, right? Um, and if we just look from a biblical perspective, right, 70 and 10, right, that means that we're all supposed to have about 70 years if all goes as well. So let's just say that is the year. I'm 50 now, right? I want to give a little bit of perspective, and I want you guys to hear me on this. That means I have 20 summers left. Think about it. I got 24th of July's left. I got 20 Christmases left. I got 20 New Year's days left. 20 to do everything that I'm supposed to do while I'm on God's green earth. 20 summers left. So anything that we're saying that we should do or we're thinking about doing, we got to do it. Because if not now, then when? And if not this, then what? So we have some very real questions we have to ask ourselves, because if you're pushing 60, then you got 10 summers left to make an impact on the world and let the world know that you are here. And
Mhm.
so for me, it was a very, very straight decision for me to make, because to be very direct with you and everybody on the line right now, I didn't have no time to play. I know that's not correct English, but I'm going to say it again. I didn't have no time to play. And so, with that being said, I had to act. And when I saw the opportunity to, right, they call it a window of opportunity for a reason, because at some point that window closes, right? And an opportunity of a lifetime is only good for the lifetime of the opportunity. So I took advantage and got involved. And my God, I'm so glad that I did Directed the Chefs.
Awesome. You know what? And yeah, I'm glad I did too. I mean, I didn't think long and hard about it. You know, when I saw this opportunity for the first time, to be quite honest, it was I kind of saw it for selfish reasons because like I said, I had all the kids and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna save on my travel. And when I got in it and I really saw, you know what I feel like, Nakia, and I may not have shared this publicly, but I really feel like when I initially saw it, and you all raise your hand in the chat if you felt this. Now, when I initially saw this business opportunity, it was almost like God drew this black outline, like a coloring book. And the more I learned about the industry and learned about this particular business and studied and read and begin to see the whole picture, the whole time I just felt like the outline was being colored in. And now I sit back and I'm like, OMG, I see the masterpiece, right? So the reason why I say that is because it's so much bigger and grander than travel. If you
Absolutely.
are on this line right now and you think small, that's all we're talking about here in terms of it just being travel and us being able to have these experiences and earn this commission. No, ma'am. No, sir. We're talking about something huge. We're talking about freedom, putting yourself in a position where you can tap into time freedom,
Mhm.
personal freedom, financial freedom. If you're on a job and you sick and tired of being sick and tired, you sick and tired of having to ask permission to go to your child's event at school, or if your child is sick and you got to find a babysitter because you got to go to work, this business is giving people options.
Absolutely.
As a matter of fact, we have some agents right now that are making six figures on a part-time basis. That's a conversation that's not being had. It's just not. Very few people are teaching you how to make six figures on a job, let alone teach you how to make six figures on a part-time basis doing something you really love. This business can allow for you to make six figures on a part-time basis to the point where that part-time income will exceed your full-time income and you can donate that job back to the economy. How does that sound? Who on the line wants to donate their job back to the economy? I just want you to know that we're going to be responsible here. We're not going to say donate it before it's time. Your leader is going to tell you when you should be ready to donate that job back to the economy. But it's happening right here. We've got the documentation. Our company has only been around for 9 years. Why do I get excited about the 9 years, Nakia? Because this 9-year-old child of ours speaks multiple languages. And very few people have even seen the child. The child is still in the house, per se. When the world sees this child, everybody's going to want a piece of the child. We have millionaires already in this business before we are a household name. That's unheard of, Nakia. You talked about that window. There's a window of opportunity. I want to just touch a little bit on like the 4 stages of business, because there's some people on the line again who've never been in business before, have no concept of what that looks like. So if you could, for just a moment, touch on those 4 stages of business, please.
Right. And so the direct sales industry, Many have heard about it, and many people will say things like when they start seeing the levels, if you will, right? The tiers, if you will, the multi-level marketing. And I think I'll say this too, Director DeShields, is that the network marketing industry is probably the most misunderstood industry in America, right? The most misunderstood business model in America because people just don't understand it. They think they do because one or two people have talked to them before about it, or they have tried something before, like you said, it didn't work. Um, and they kind of throw the baby out with the bathwater. And so I had someone ask me one time, "Is this like Amway?" I said, "I certainly hope so." We're talking about a multi-billion-dollar operation, right? And so the point is, four phases in the network marketing industry. Um, the first is um is when it's an idea, right, and people are kind of thinking about it, and it comes together. That's when the product is being put in place, and the compensation plan is being put in place, and the infrastructure is being put in place, and that's the formulation. That's when you form it, right? And that looks like something, and that's for the pioneer. You got to have a different temperament for that. You got to have a different muscle because most people are going to again throw in the towel. That's not going to be for them. But that's the formulation. That's the first phase or the first stage. The second is concentration, and this is where now you're getting a little traction. The product is starting to work. People are starting to hear about it. People are starting to make money, and there's man, this thing seems like it possibly can work. And because in formulation, it's like it could go either direction. Most companies fold then. But then you go into the concentration. And then after you go into concentration, now you start getting to where there's about 100,000 plus people out there in the field representing, right, and impacting the industry. And you hit this thing called momentum, right? And when you get into momentum, now people are starting to say, yeah, what? Oh, yeah, I've heard about that. Oh, yeah, oh, I've heard about that. That's the phase of the company where all of the money is. That's where people start to earn the income that is absolutely life changing. I'm talking about those of us who are not trust fund babies, those of us who are not beneficiaries of the upper echelons where we're getting it passed down generation after generation. This is where all of the money is and all of the millionaires in that particular company is created. And then you have that thing, or the fourth phase is called stability, right? That's when now it's stable and it kind of bottoms out in a sense that there's an opportunity to make some income from it, but that phase of becoming financially independent or becoming rich or becoming wealthy or becoming free, that phase or that time frame will have gone. So those are the four stages of development in business, right? It's the formulation, the concentration, the momentum, and stability. And this company that you guys are taking a look at right now is smack dab right there in the middle of momentum. So you're in the right place at the right time.
Oh yeah. Oh, and most people again have been a part of businesses before and they've seen the momentum happen. They've seen other people make all that money and they got started when the company was stabilizing, right? So there's a lot of people wish they were a part of a project
Yeah.
that was in the first three phases or the
Right.
first two phases at
Right.
least, right?
Right.
As Nakia said earlier, this company, the fact that we're at 120,000 plus agents in 20 different countries, and if you're a guest on the line and you're hearing this for the first time, that's a hint, hint, and a clue, clue,
Now,
right?
now,
And
wink, wink.
this is the sweet spot.
There we go.
This
Absolutely.
right here is the sweet spot. Your neighbor has not heard about this yet. Your coworkers have not heard about this. Your other family them, they haven't heard about this yet. Lock arms with the person that shared this opportunity with you so that you can do something really, really special for your family. You can really do something special for your family. And, with this being the beginning, the first quarter of 2025, this is really when people need to just, what do they say, be 10 toes down into something? They need to commit to it.
Commit.
Commit to it. Because once they get in and get 10 toes down in it, this this time 2026, will look totally different than where you are right now.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for educating us on that. And speaking of education, we're going to make money here. We're going to make a whole lot of money, but we're also going to be educated. That's why, Nakia and I are sitting here and spending our time just breaking some things down to you, because we want you to leave here more educated than you were when you got on here. Prayerfully, when you get off this Zoom, you will lock arms with the person that invited you on, so that we can show you how you can, supplement your income, supplement your lifestyle, and create a legacy for your family. Yes, this business is a legacy company. So, what is this legacy? This legacy basically says that when you go out and you share this business with people, like we're doing on tonight's Zoom, the more people that you share this business with, and the more people you help share this business with, you can put your family in position to receive all of your income. All of your income. You're leaving a legacy instead of a will. And we didn't even talk about all the income on tonight. We didn't. We only talked about one stream of income on tonight. One. I want you to understand that there are 7 additional streams of income. 7 aggressive streams of income that you can tap into. But I want you to get back with the person that invited you, so that they can share that with you. Now, I'm going after all 7. Actually, I have all 7, and I want to help some other people get all 7. All right. So because it's real, I want you to know that Nakia is not a paid actor. He is not. He's a real person
There we
who's
go.
actually working this business and receiving, results. And we can't keep quiet about it. Why can't we keep quiet about it? Because we have the cure to your financial woes. That's why we can't keep quiet about it. Would you keep quiet if you had a cure for cancer or COVID? You wouldn't keep quiet. So we're not going to keep quiet, because there are some people out there that need what we have.
Absolutely.
And Nakia said earlier, it's a small investment. We're going to talk about that investment, because I want you to know you're not going to have to take out a second mortgage on your home. No, ma'am. No, sir. Mm-mm. You're not going to have to put up your firstborn. No, ma'am. No, sir. Mm-mm. Nakia, talk about what that investment looks like for that
Right.
person who feels like this might be something they can't afford. Talk about
Right.
it.
And so we're talking about a nominal fee, right? An initial investment of $199 gets you access, imagine this, to both of our business opportunities. One is such that it's a marketing company, and that's what Planet Marketing is the marketing arm that sells a product called IntelliTravel. And IntelliTravel is the travel agency that, again, has been doing this for over 3 decades, right? They pretty much got it down to a science, right? So
Mm-hmm.
your initial investment of getting involved in both the travel agency as well as the marketing company that sells the travel agency product is $199, right? Many of us have spent that on a meal. And so I know it's sometimes seemingly too good to be true, but it is good and it is true, right? And so this is the beauty of the direct sales industry, right? Is that we're leveraging the power of people. And so you don't have to come up with all of the systems. You don't have to figure it all out. You don't have to figure out the training. You don't have to figure out the infrastructure. You don't have to figure out the compensation plan. Because remember, the formulation stage has come and gone. We've already done that, right? The concentration stage has come and gone. We've already done that. You are coming in now where we have established the fact that people are earning income throughout the United States of America and 20 other countries. And so we're not asking you this evening, do it work? Does it work? We're just asking you, do you want to participate? Right? And do you want to get compensated for your participation? And again, that initial capital outlay is $199. And then once you get involved and get going, there's a $59 fee on a monthly basis that gets you access to everything that we just talked about and some. So can you imagine that? I know it's difficult to believe. I know it's such a small fee that you like, there's no way what these people are talking about, I can have access to it for that small amount. But you can, and the person who invited you to the call will give you more details about how that works. But that is our initial investment and our monthly fee right there.
It's just that simple. You know, Nakia, I'm a traditional business owner, just like yourself. You and I both understand and know for a fact that it costs us way more to start our business, launch that business, and
And
maintain that business.
whew, I got tired listening.
Right. So when I saw what the investment was, I was like, uh-oh, where's my card? I'm ready. Like, I didn't have to pray about it. I didn't have to ask permission. I was like, put me in now. So,
Yeah.
you know, I didn't think about it. I made that decision. But here's something else that I want to talk about because sometimes, Nakia, it's not even the one time investment of $200.
Right.
It's not the one time investment of $200 that people wrestle with. You know what they wrestle with?
The monthly fee.
The monthly fee. Where can you do business in the world and not have a monthly fee attached to your business?
Well, I'll tell you, Director DeShields, imagine this. When the cost of doing business is the conversation, the person doesn't have an expectation to make a profit. The hallmark of business is a profit. The whole reason you go into business is to make a profit. So if you look at the monthly fee of $59 a month, one trip, my daughter's honeymoon, paid that fee. That's $700 in a year.
Mhm.
So every other trip that I booked this year is my profit, right? And so every business owner goes in business with the intent to make a profit. So if you don't plan on making a profit and you're going to look at it as a bill, then you don't have the proper understanding of what you're getting involved in. So the cost of doing business is just that, the cost of doing business. And no business owner is deterred by what it's going to cost them to own the business. They're focused on their desire to be a business owner. And that's what we're looking for, right? We're looking for people who are looking for us, folks who understand the opportunity is the opportunity and they're willing to hedge a bet on themselves and take a risk. That's what an entrepreneur is a risk taker, right?
Oh yeah. Right. And if you don't bet on yourself, who else gonna bet on yourself, right? So, you know, again, thank you so much, Nakia, for sharing with us on today. Like I said, there's more streams of income. We literally just talked about the travel part of our business model. You're gonna have a full-fledged travel agency where you can book unlimited travel. There are no quotas here. Oh my gosh. I'm glad I didn't skip over that part. No quotas, no
Right.
inventory. You know, that's another big piece. Because Nakia, I don't have any cruise ships in my backyard. Do you?
No inventory here.
No inventory, no, no helicopter pad back there, no hotels, none of that. However, all of the business owners get to leverage the cruise industry's inventory, right? The airline industry's inventory. We don't have to buy a plane. I don't have to buy a coliseum to sell a ticket to a game.
Right.
That's smart business.
Absolutely.
Guys, we're going to show you how you can work smarter, not harder. Many of you have been working hard your whole life, right?
Absolutely.
Some
I've
of
been
our
practicing.
ancestors have worked really, really hard, right? So we got to change the narrative here. We got to make our bloodline proud. So, let's work smarter, not harder moving forward. Lock arms with us, right? Let us coach you. Let us train you. Let us develop you inside of this industry that you knew nothing about. I call it the eighth wonder of the world.
Absolutely.
More millionaires were created in network marketing, referral marketing than any other industry out there. I don't know why people run from it. Embrace it. This is how you're going to get out of that rat race. Not working more hours, them double shifts, not getting a second job. That's not going to get you out of the rat race. What gets you out of the rat race is having your own business.
Absolutely.
What gets you out of the rat race is when you have a product that everybody uses and everybody wants. Because nobody begged Nakia's daughter to get married. Well, maybe her husband did. I'm not sure. But no one drug her. Let's say that. No one drug her to the altar. You know, so people are doing this.
Anyway,
let's get in the way of the money. Stop letting everybody else around you get wealthy. Get in the middle of the transaction. So, Nikhil, before we close it out, really quickly, if you had one thing that you wanted to say to the person that's sitting on the fence, maybe this is their second time, hearing about this opportunity. They may have seen a video in the past, or maybe been to on another Zoom, or been to a live presentation, and they're still straddling on the fence. What do you say to that person?
I want them to think about how many summers they got left. Okay. Right? I want you to bear in mind that you know what it is.
Yeah.
You know what your heart is telling you. You know what you feel. You're just not trusting yourself. Right? And then you have to, in order for you to have something you haven't had before, you have to do something you haven't done before. And what you haven't done before is you haven't trusted that instinct. Right? That instinct is telling you something and you keep running from it. And that's how come you keep running into what you're running into. So you got to do something differently. Listen to the instinct that's telling you what it's telling you. And that's the reason you're on here, because you're looking for something. Right? And we started this call directed to shows at 9:00. And the reason that they're still on here is because you think you probably found it, because you could have got off a long time ago. So the reality is, trust what you're feeling and then honor that, and then let's make a better way for you and your family. We have the tool to do so.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, Nikhil, for sharing with me on today. Ladies and gentlemen, this just speaks to the layers of leadership that we have here. So when you get started, you won't be doing this business by yourself. Absolutely not. Right? You're going to have help. You're going to have support. You're going to have training. You're going to have access to some incredible tools that are going to help you run your business. But don't miss this opportunity. Our founder has this acronym that he absolutely loves, and that acronym is POOR, passing over opportunities repeatedly. As Nakia mentioned earlier, if you've been on this Zoom for the hour or 40 minutes, please understand that you're in the right place at the right time with the right people. So get back with that person that invited you on and ask them to share more information about what we talked about. Again, we only touched on one stream of income, the product, right? Get back with that person and find out how you can tap into weekly income, residual income, bonuses, where you can tap into that money that starts chasing you down. Yeah, there's money out there that will run after you. It's called residual income. Get back with that person so that they can share that with you, because it's exciting. So with that being said, this is going to conclude our call on tonight. I thank you all for joining us. Again, I look forward to seeing you all in my two favorite places in the entire world, the most luxurious beaches and the banks. Thank you again. Thank you, Nakia, for joining us. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you. All right. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Amazing call this evening.
Okay. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you, Director DeShields.
Thank you.